Oh, well,
All right,
good
yeah,
to know.
yeah. All right, recording.
Okay.
In case somebody missed, yeah, you're right, because there's like 30 of you and 4 of you are missing, I think. Okay, very good. Okay, so let's go to Blackboard so we can figure out everything. Just make, what do you say, reduce us, right? And then, oh, I can't minimize when I'm recording this. I can't go to Blackboard. Okay, I'm not going to record this right now because I cannot minimize my screen when I'm recording this. So, okay, so we are recording the syllabus for Philosophy 144. Okay, all right, so I conceived this class actually right after the elections in 2016. Not wanting to be political or anything, but shortly after these elections, there was actually a very worrisome rise in xenophobic incidents, right? There was a lot of hatred, there was a lot of hate crimes happening around the country because of the atmosphere, because of everything that was going on. And so I was witnessing, right, in this country, which was historically welcoming to the stranger, right? I was witnessing a backlash to that, right? There was an isolationist mentality that was rising, protectionist mentality. We were becoming more and more distrustful of immigrants, of whoever doesn't fit within our paradigm, right? There was a lot going on, a lot of language, right? Anti-immigration language. There was a lot of derogatory language, right, against immigrants. So we were more and more thinking that we would be better off without these guys, right? This was the mentality. And it's, you know, there are good arguments for that, right? That we're better off without these guys coming into the country, taking over our culture, our religion. One of the most virulent criticisms of critics of immigration is what's her name now? I forgot. It escaped me. She wrote a book called Adios America. I forgot her name. But in any case, where she argues, right, that immigration is bad for America, right? Oh, Ann Coulter. Thank you, Kim. Very good. Right. So I became, you know, increasingly worried about the atmosphere and so forth. So I conceived this class. And this class is actually entirely structured around the concept of the stranger, right? So in other words, we are going to be studying the concept of the stranger in a different lens than the way that we're speaking about it in everyday America, right? In everyday America, the stranger is a problem. Immigration is a crisis, right? We talk about a crisis at the border, right? So we usually see immigration as a problem to be solved. In this class, we're going to look at immigration as an asset, as something which enriches us, as something which brings us something, right? And so that will be really the guiding thread, right? How the strangers in our lives actually are not to be seen as problems, they're to be seen as assets. They're to be seen as something that helps me grow and expand rather than something which takes away from me. They are something which gives me, right? Too often we see the immigrant or the stranger as someone who is taking my resources away from me, right? We forget that yes, the resources, there's less now, but what does the foreigner or the stranger bring me to compensate for that, right? There is a lot that is being given to me in an encounter with the stranger, right? So that's the idea. Now, of course, to get to that point where I can grow from my encounter with a stranger, I need to redefine what it means to be human. This whole class will be a redefinition of what it means to be human. And we'll be moving away from the traditional Western concepts of the human, right? As autonomous, independent, right? As the self-made man, right? These are all the definitions of the subject that we are used to hearing, right? We are used to thinking that we can be fully ourselves by ourselves, right? This is one of the main, and I'll talk about that in my main introduction, right? We're used to thinking I can bring myself to my full potential by myself, right? We have not really understood how the others in our lives contribute to our own self-edification, right? And the Western concept of the subject, starting with Descartes, which we'll talk about, right? Where the Descartes is defining the subject in isolation, right? So starting with Descartes, we have been thinking that I can be myself in isolation, this whole class will debunk this myth, right? We cannot truly become ourselves outside of our connections, especially to the stranger, right? So that's really where we're going. So we'll be starting with Kant, yes. So that's the one pillar that we'll start with from Modern 2. Kant is actually a very progressive thinker, even though he doesn't seem like it, right? He seems pretty archaic, especially when you read him, but he's actually pretty progressive, and he's the basis for a lot of the philosophers that will follow, like Buber and Levinas. Both are drawing from Kant in many ways, right? So we're going to be starting with Kant, then we'll be going to Buber, Martin Buber, and we'll be reading I and Thou. Then we'll go into Levinas, The Humanism of the Other. Kant is a German philosopher, Buber and Levinas are Jewish philosophers. Schutte, Augustin Schutte, is a South African philosopher who wrote a really good summary of the African philosophical worldview, which sadly is out of print. So I have to actually put a print out of it on your on Blackboard. But this is really the best place to start if you want to get an idea of the way that the African mindset philosophizes, right? And sadly, these people that he cites in the book haven't yet been developed enough, in my view, right? We need to build on this, but hasn't yet been done, right? Okay, and then finally, we'll finish with Irigaray, who is a French feminist, and that's where we'll close the class, right? So we'll be looking at different variations of the stranger and what the stranger brings us. Okay, so any questions so far in anything I said on the general topic of the class? Now, by the way, quick note, please don't use the chat to have these weird conversations that disturb me. So if you continue, I will disable the chat and you'll just be on your own. So please don't do that so that I don't get, because I see everything you write. So imagine trying to lecture intelligently and then seeing your stuff. So yes, spare me the whatever you guys are doing. Good. Any questions on any of this? Okay, good. All right. Okay, so by the way, please, you need to buy those books. I'm not going to put them up on Blackboard. You need to buy them. Please make sure you get the right edition. And for that, you need to go to the QC online bookstore, see which book I put there. You can buy it there, but if you want to buy it cheaper, which I doubt you'll find, you need to go there first, get the right ISBN number, and then you purchase it, right? So you definitely need to have those books by next week. We'll start Kant, and Monday I'll introduce him, but by Wednesday, you need to have the book already, right? And it has to be the right edition. So make sure you go first to the QC online bookstore, which is on the QC webpage. Look at the book, the way it looks, and then you buy the same one wherever else you want to buy it, okay? Any questions?
It's only one book per philosopher, right?
Yep, only one book. So 5 books total, yeah. And then the Schutte, I mean, you can try and buy it. I looked on Amazon, there's only one left. You have to rush. So I'm gonna put a PDF of it on Blackboard. Okay, let's get into the requirements. All right, so regarding, let's see, matching the ISBN. Why can't I see that message? Oh, I see. Yes, King, very good. Yes, please make sure you have the right ISBN number. And the covers, yes, you can get mixed up, although I think it helps, but whatever works so that you have the right book. Okay, attendance. So like I mentioned.
Professor, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I only saw 4 books on the online bookstore.
Yeah, because the other one is out of print. I have to put it on Blackboard.
I see, thank you.
I mean, you can try and buy it. Here's the name. So it's Augustin Schutte, that's the author. And the title is Philosophy for Africa. So you can, I mean, if you can find ways to buy it, that's awesome. It's better, right? So totally buy it if you can. It's a really good resource to have, especially if you're interested in non-Western philosophy and African philosophy, which is never studied, incidentally, right? We don't study African philosophy. And we should, because as you'll see when we study the author, you'll see how that worldview is in a way balancing out the Western worldview in a very healthy way, right? We are in a way, because we're philosophizing alone for centuries, right, the West, we have become somewhat our concepts, especially the concept of subjectivity, the concept of what it is to be human, in my view, is becoming dangerous, right? We have a very dangerous view of what it means to be human, what it means to be a human subject. So this is why in this class, we will counter this view with Jewish philosophers, African philosophers, feminist philosophers, right? They all bring a criticism of the traditional Western view of the subject as autonomous, right? Isolated, independent, the perfect Cartesian subject, right? So, so definitely try to get the book if you can. Okay, so attendance. So as I told you, the class is synchronous. You need to show up. You can't take it at your own pace, whatever. That doesn't work. I tried it in the summer. It was a disaster. So, for your benefit, you need to come and watch the live stream as we're doing it. So yes, and as you're coming, please leave, like you're doing now, that's perfect, you're wonderful, leave your camera on, that's beautiful, right? So I can communicate with you as I'm doing right now. Good. Very good. Now, all right, so let's get into the requirements. So to be honest, this class, the readings are pretty difficult, but the work isn't, in my view, right? You have a very regular work you have to do, which is reading and what I have called the reading assignments, right? I'm putting it in the chat, the word. Oh, I haven't been writing to everyone. Sorry, to everyone, Augustine Schutte, that's the author that I mentioned before. Philosophy for Africa, that's the book, if you can get it, brilliant, right? And then here's me talking about the reading assignments. Okay, in the folder, it's RA, right? In the Google Drive, you will see RA, Kant, RA, Buber, RA, and so forth, right? So reading assignment. Okay, reading assignment is very simple. As you're reading, you need to be reading with, like I tell everybody in my, especially in my intro classes, you need to be reading with an attitude of wonder, right? You never just read philosophy to understand it. That won't work for you. You read philosophy with an attitude of curiosity and wonder, knowing that you're not going to be able to understand everything, but you're curious and you're open, right? This is the best way to approach a philosophy text. If you read philosophy with a desire, I need to master this book, or I need to figure this out, or I need to understand this, you're going to be very frustrated, because philosophy is difficult and it's broad and it's vast, and the meanings, right, take a long time to figure out. So when you read the text in this class, I'm not expecting you to understand the text. Are we clear on that? Let me say that again so you really get it. When you're reading the text for this class, I don't expect you to understand what you're reading. Are we clear on that? Hand in the screen. Okay, all I expect you to do is read. Read, enjoy what it feels like to be in the presence of a great mind. That's it. I will then clarify everything in the lecture, right? But when you're reading, I won't have lectured on it yet. You're kind of like thrown into the water, right? But I just want you to experience what it's like to be in the presence of a great mind, right? So in fact, let me go over quickly. I do this with my little ones, I call them the intros. I give them the 3 principles of reading a philosophy text. So let me write them down. So the first one is wonder. The second one is enjoyment. And the third one, did I forget? No, here it is. Urgency. Okay, let me go over these 3. This is how you should be reading if you're going to be successful as reading philosophy. Number 1, wonder. When you read a philosophy text, you never try to understand, you never try to master, you just explore. If you have that attitude, which is, by the way, an attitude that only the humble can have, right? It's an attitude of humility, right? It's an attitude, I don't know, my mind is small. This book is so much more vast, right? The mind that I'm encountering is so much vaster than mine, right? I am just humbly exploring this text. You will do very well, right? So attitude of wonder, meaning you have an open mind, you have a questioning mind, you have an inquisitive mind, right? And this will help you to do the reading assignment, by the way, right? Okay, so that's the first thing. You never go with an attitude, I need to dominate this text. No. You enter and you're like, I wonder what I'm going to learn. I'm exploring. I realize I don't know everything and I won't understand perhaps even a word. And it's okay. I'm just exploring. Okay, everybody get this first one? That's the first, very important. Put your hand in the screen if you see what I'm saying, right? That's very important because if you don't come with this attitude of humility, you're gonna get frustrated and you're gonna get angry and then you're going to turn against the author that you're studying, right? This is often what happens. We get angry that we don't understand. We're like, yeah, why can't he be clear? He's such a snob. I hate these philosophers, right? You see? So you wanna always just enter with a exploring. No big deal. You don't need to understand. I don't require that you understand anything. Number 2, enjoyment. This is very important. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you cannot do it well. We know this, right? I tell the little ones when I talk to them about this point, I ask them to remember one of the classes that they hated the most. They hated the class, the subject, the students, and the professor. Okay, how many of you can recall a class like that? Coco was like, boom. Okay, very good. Now, how'd you do in that class? Not so well, of course, right? When you hate something, you cannot do well, right? So to enjoy something is really to open yourself up to it. That's the essence of enjoyment. To enjoy is to open yourself up to it. And so I really want you to read this text with an attitude of enjoyment. I'm enjoying this moment. You pick the best moment of the day where you're relaxed, you make a cup of chai tea, you're drinking, you're like, I'm relaxed. And now I'm reading, I don't understand a word, but I'm enjoying not understanding anything. Feels amazing, right? That's the second way you should read. Allegra, you have a question? Allegra, are you there?
Yeah, I was gonna say one thing. Isn't Kant notoriously, like, his texts are notoriously hard to read from? So,
He's the
'cause-
easiest you'll have, by the way.
I know, because when I was in my ethics class, just reading like the first pages of Kant's of Groundwork of Mathematics is just very difficult. Like, it's incredibly complex, but it was like, I don't understand half of this. So,
And that's perfectly fine. That's what I'm telling you. You will not understand half of it, more than half of anything that I have assigned this semester. Just saying. You need to be initiated into these texts, right? These are upper level texts. You can't do them on your own. Impossible, in my view, right? So, but that's what I'm telling you. When you read the text, wonder, enjoyment, urgency. You don't read thinking I need to understand it. And when you don't understand it, you feel like a loser, or you think the author is a loser. It's either one. We either project or we internalize, right? So yes, you will see these texts are very difficult. They're some of the most difficult texts in the literature. This is late modern. They write like that, right? And we can talk about why they do that. But you shouldn't worry. All you have to do is read. Just read word after word. You don't have to understand. Just feel what it's like to be in this presence of this mind, right? And just enjoy. I don't understand a thing, how enjoyable it is, right? Not to understand and to be completely out of control. Does that make sense, Allegra? More or less.
yeah, more or less.
You don't look too convinced, Allegra. Why not?
Because when I'm trying to read a text, sometimes I want to see if I could, like, you know, when you like read a text and you just feel enlightened, like you finally understand it. And that's the thing I was trying to go for most of the time when I'm trying to read a text. Like, how can I actually understand what he's saying rather than just reading word by word without actually feeling in anything?
You will understand eventually, right? When you're first reading the first time, you will understand a little bit. When you do the discussions, you will understand more. When you do the lecture, you'll understand even more. And when you do the test, you'll understand a lot more. So yes, you will come to very deep understandings of the text. I'm not just gonna throw you the text and be like, yeah, let's just discuss randomly. No.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to clarify these texts for you. I'm not going to leave you in this postmodern haze of, you know, there's no truth and no understanding, right? No, we're going to, don't worry. It's just when you read, don't expect to understand at that point, right, of your journey. Because reading is the first level. Then we have the group discussions. Then we have the lecture. Then we have the test. And then you can say, I get some of it, right? Really good. Coco says, think
All right,
of it like
fair.
playing the long game. Okay, yes. Yes, and King, you're right. This is not going to be immediate gratification, right? This is going to be slow journey towards enlightenment, right? This is not the immediate enlightenment that some people have. Okay, so the urgency is the last one. The urgency applies more to the other courses I teach, but usually I tell people, read philosophy with urgency, because you never know. That text might be the key to your existence, right? In other words, you might read something in that text which can unlock the key to your destiny, right? To your existence, the key to love, the key to truth, the key to happiness, right? So in this class, less, because the class is more political. But in the other classes I teach, which are more existential, which are about relationships or happiness, these texts can really unlock, right, something for ourselves. So here too, you might encounter a text where, boom, you're like, I needed to hear this. This is the missing piece of the puzzle of my life, right? This is how you should read philosophy. Any philosopher at one point can become the missing piece you've been looking for, or can become the master or the guru that you've been searching for, right? There are no gurus nowadays, no masters. Even us professors, we're not doing our job. Right? We're not really creating discipleship, right? So often you find the master that you need for your life in books, right? And you never know. This might be the class where you discover the master you've been looking for, right? So urgency, that's the last one. Okay. All right, so that's how you read, so remember this, right? As you're reading, so you don't get discouraged or frustrated and angry. All right, so the reading assignment is simply this. Anytime you have a reading, which is most of the time, if you look at the syllabus, right, which you can't read because it's upside down, each time you have page numbers, that's when you have a reading assignment, okay? Page numbers means you have to read those pages and then do the reading assignment. Reading assignment is very simple. It's 1 page, 4 paragraphs, single spaced. Okay, let me write this down in the chat. So 1 page, 4 paragraphs, single spaced. The first 2 paragraphs are questions, and the second 2 paragraphs are critiques, right? So in other words, questions should be easy, because as you read those texts, you're not going to understand most of it. So that's the moment to ask questions. I wonder what he means by that. And what's this concept mean? And why does he contradict himself? And what's his point overall, right? So this is you exploring the text and allowing the questions that you have to surface. You're not repressing the questions, right? You're reading, and all of a sudden you come across something that you don't understand. Boom, that's your first question. Right? Now, as you write these 2 paragraphs, the first 2 paragraphs are 2 questions, you always want to try to answer. That's what will make the paragraph, right? So you have your question. I wonder what Kant means by instinct. Well, maybe he means this based on that quote, but I'm not sure. And maybe he means that. You just try to answer in the most imaginative way possible. I'm not going to count it wrong. You can be completely off. It's fine. This is you beginning to explore, to struggle with the text, right? Last 2 paragraphs, 2 criticisms. So this time you understood vaguely, but you don't agree, right? This is why I don't agree. He says this, I disagree. She says that, I disagree. And you go on and on, right? So this assignment is just you grappling with the text. Questions, criticisms, your reactions, your response. This is the beginning of the understanding process, is you struggling with the text. And then we'll go to the next layers. Okay, any questions so far on the content of the reading assignments? Okay, now, here is the, what's the word? I haven't spoken for a while in this quarantine, so I'm losing my English. Here's the, you know, the thing that when you say something and then there's something added that nobody expected and that's bad. So here's the, anybody know what, I don't even know what that word means, Kim. Okay, never mind, I'm not gonna use that expression. Thank you, Kim. I'll look it up. So here's the issue that you need to be careful with. These assignments are due, they're due in my drive right before class. Because as soon as class starts, I put you in your groups and I grade those assignments, right? So they need to be there. If your assignment is not there, it will not be counted, right? So now it's not the end of the world. If it's not counted, it's only 1 point. but it adds up. So be careful, right? You're the managers of your points, right? So you need to have it in on time. Even if you do it later and it's magnificent, I'm not going to count it, right? The reason I've become so strict is that like I told you, in the summer it was a disaster. Everybody was handing in randomly all the time and people were falling behind. Honestly, they were not doing well. So that's why I've become a little more strict with deadlines, which I wasn't before. So this assignment has to be on time to be counted in my drive before class starts. As soon as class starts, I'm looking at them. And then I'm deleting the folder. So you can't hand it in. Okay? It's only 1 point, so if you miss it, not a big deal, but don't accumulate because these points are actually a good safety net for you, right? I've arranged the class so that these little points, like reading assignment points, they can raise your test grades, test average, whole letter grade up. Imagine all your tests are C's. If you do all the little assignments, right, you can have a B average in the class. So these little points are your safety net. Don't waste them, right? Okay. Are we good for the reading assignment? Any questions? Okay. All right, class discussions. Same time you have, so every time you have reading assignments, you have read your text, you come to class, you handed in your assignment, you arrive in class. The first 20 minutes of class will be you and your breakout groups talking about the text based on your reading assignment. So your reading assignment, you had your questions, your critiques. Now you share those with your classmates in the group. Oh, I don't understand this. What do you think? And the group is supposed to help you. Group is supposed to respond, right? Don't sit there, right, and twiddle your thumbs, right, while the person is talking. You respond, right? So you come with your questions and together as a group, you try to respond to each other's questions and critiques, right? Maybe someone in the group disagrees with your criticism. You speak up, have a discussion, right? Now you're going to the next level of understanding together, right? You're clarifying for each other at the level of your ability. So these discussions will last 20 minutes at the beginning of class. They're worth 1 point. Now, if you're late, no discussion for you. If you're late, you will not be put into the breakout room. You'll just be hanging out in the virtual classroom all by yourself. And you will lose your point. So do not be late, right? It's very difficult for me to put people in breakout rooms and then a bunch of people come late and then I have to redo the breakout rooms and it's a mess. So you need to come on time to get your point. Otherwise, you'll just hang out in the big classroom for 20 minutes and then we'll come back and do the lecture, right? So don't lose that point. All these little points, they are your safety net. Treasure them, right? Okay, any questions for the class discussion assignment? Okay, all right, group work. So before every test, I'm gonna give you a whole class together by yourselves where you'll be discussing the philosopher in light of current issues. So this is going to be a discussion of, for example, Kant and, I don't know, I'll come up with something, right? Racism or Black Lives Matter or, you know, gender, Me Too movement, right? What would Kant have to say to some of these issues, right? So we will be kind of delving into some of the political issues of our day and seeing how the philosopher we're studying would address, right? What wisdom can we get, right? From Kant or from Buber or from Levinas in order to address or reflect on the issues. One of the main problems of this society where we live in the States is that we're not thinking about the issues anymore, right? We're just believing blindly. We have our positions, right? And we just follow blindly our positions, right? Democrat, Republican, free electron, right? And we're just, right? We haven't really thought out why we believe what we believe. And we don't know how to argue for it. All we know is how to insult the person and be like, oh, you're such an idiot. But we don't know why they're an idiot, right? So these philosophers will really help us. We need to, in a way, gain a higher, in my view, a higher way of reasoning about the issues, right? Why am I pro-life, right? Why am I pro-choice, right? You can begin to address these issues based on the philosophers we're studying, right? These philosophers have something to say to these issues, right? They are bringing wisdom into the issues that we're lacking as a country right now, right? We are just fighting and And there's no arguments, there's no thinking, there's nothing going on, right? And so this is really a way for us to stop a little bit, reflect on the issues based on the philosophers we've learned to think about the issues. So that's kind of, so that group work will be you doing that together in your groups. I'll give you the prompts, I'll give you the issues, and so that will be 2 points. And that would, so you see, the little points are not hard, right? They're really gifts to you for your safety net. Now the exam is where you're going to struggle, I'm just saying. Typically in this class, oh my God, the way I've taught it in the past, maybe it's my fault, but because I'm also teaching how to write, so that's difficult. Most of us don't know how to write. I end up with, to be honest, the first test is always a D average. Like that's the average of the first test, and then it gradually goes up, right? So you should expect the test to be hard, but because of the safety net, you should be able to do well, right? I have arranged, like I said, so that whatever average you have in the test, you have a whole letter grade higher in your overall grade if you do all the little assignments that are on the side, right? So the exams are difficult because you have to know the philosopher, you have to write in a way that's clear. These are skills, right, that you're going to learn throughout the class. So you're not only going to learn philosophers, you're going to learn how to philosophize. And that's the difficult part. You're going to learn how to write. I'm going to be really focusing on your writing and making sure you know how to write, argue, be clear, and so forth. So that's what's going to be a struggle. So I'm warning you that that part of the class will be probably a struggle for some of us. So, okay, any questions? Yes, Kim, go ahead.
Will the exams be held real time, or are we going to have a chance to do it on our own?
Yeah, you have a lot of time to do them because you have at least a week to do the test, and it's only like a page and a half single space. So you have a lot of time because we have the group in between, and then the test is due, right? So that's the part that will be. Yeah, and you do it at home, you take your time, you have all your notes, you have your book, you have everything. There's no reason to do badly. But what I've seen is that historically, when I taught the class, people have struggled with that part because of the writing. This time, I've made a change. I've actually given you a template outline, which I think will help for you to immediately get a better grade than most of the poor victims that I taught before, right, in this class. Because before I would just be like, okay, write this, and I'll be like, there's no. Right? So this time I figured out the template outline so that if you follow that closely, you should be fine. I think, we're gonna see, right? So we'll talk about it later, the template outline. But if you follow that, you should really be fine. If you know the philosopher, you've come to the class, you should be okay with that. Okay. That's it. That's it in terms of the assignments, the load and so forth. Any questions, any other questions or concerns? No? Okay, good. Let's see. All right, so we can actually even finish before the end, which is nice. All right, so next time we meet is Monday, right? I don't even know. August 31, yes, Monday. So on Monday, I will just introduce Kant, so you don't have any work yet. But by then you should have your book, right? Because on September 2, next Wednesday, you will already have a reading assignment and so forth, and we'll be starting. But it should be a very interesting class. This is a class that will revolutionize your concept of what it means to be human and what it means to be in relationship, right? It's such a groundbreaking, the texts we're doing are just so groundbreaking in my view, as far as the way that they critique the Western approach to the subject, right? Okay, excellent. Let's see if there's anything in the chat. Yes, if anyone needs to email me, you can email me. And if anyone still has questions, you can stay after class briefly right now, and I can talk to you. Okay, the rest of you, actually, since we have some time, let me just go over your names really quick. I like to do that in the beginning, but I wasn't sure we'd have enough time. So, so we're going to introduce ourselves now that we're done. The first class, we're going to introduce ourselves. All you're going to tell me is, I'm going to call out your last name. You will tell me this is helpful for me to remember your last name. Tell me the country of origin of your last name, where your last name comes from. Then I write it down and I can connect you to something. And then you tell me what's your major. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do a little introduction. So Alegre, you're the first one.
Oh, hello. Alegre comes, the origin is Spanish, but my family's from the Philippines.
Mm-hmm. Your major?
My major is philosophy and psychology.
Okay, very good. Ali, are you there, Ali? No?
Yes.
Yes?
Okay. Ali, that's Guyanese. Yeah. Can you hear me? I'm not.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm writing down. And your major?
Physics and philosophy.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Coco.
Coco is technically, I think, Italian, but I'm almost all Dominican, actually.
You're what?
I'm almost all Dominican, but my Coco, I think, is Italian.
All right.
As for my major, philosophy.
Okay, very good. Delmas.
Hello. My last name comes from France, and I would like to major in physics and philosophy.
Okay, all this physics and philosophy, y'all are, what's the word? Man, what's the word when you have big, ambitious? That's good, that's good. It goes well together, actually, physics and philosophy. I think it's a great combo. Halmurad.
Hi, I'm from Turkmenistan, and my major is in philosophy.
Okay, very good. Welcome. Jisan.
Hello. Hey, Jason is, I believe, Bengali or Bangladeshi descended, yeah. And my major is actuarial science.
Is what?
Actuarial science. Actuarial science, yeah.
Okay.
It's like business administration, actuarial science, yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it. I was like, what is this he's studying? Okay, very good. Kang, are you there?
Hi. Yeah, Kang is Korean, but I was born here. And I'm a philosophy and economics major.
Okay, very good. Kim.
Professor, same as Kang. My last name is South Korean, but I was born here as well. My major is BBA Finance.
Okay, very good. King. Where is our king?
Hi. My last name is most likely European. I'm from Trinidad. Maybe it has something to do with slavery, most likely.
Okay.
My major currently is physics, but I'm planning to change that to philosophy.
Okay, good job. Good idea. I support you. Kogan, where are you, Kogan?
Here.
Okay, Kogan, your last name, where's it from?
Kogan is a Russian variation of the Hebrew name Kohen.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, you didn't tell me that last time.
I've been in your classes for like the past 2 years. I didn't.
Yeah. So. Kohen. Excellent. What's your major? Your major?
Oh, I'm a psychology major and a philosophy minor.
All right, very good. Cosmidis, are you here, Cosmidis? I feel like I didn't see you yet. Cosmidis? Okay, Cosmidis didn't join us yet. Okay, Kublal.
Hi, as far as I know, Kabul is Indian.
What is what?
Indian.
Okay, very good.
And my major is English, but my minor is philosophy.
Okay, very good. Kublal, do you have a camera, Kublal?
Not for this session, but I will for the upcoming sessions.
Okay, thank you. Very good. Larson.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Wait, no, not Leisman. Larson. Leisman, you're next. Not yet. Larson.
Okay, I'm Larson. My mom is Taiwanese, but my dad's Swedish, so that's the last name.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
And I'm accounting major, but philosophy minor.
All right, excellent. Montes. Wait, Leisman, I don't have you. You're not on my roster, Leisman. Leisman, you need to register. Or maybe
Right.
you All right, tell me about yourself, Leisman. Leisman?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Oh, I'm going to register as a senior auditor.
Ah, you're an auditor. Okay, that's it. Very good. So where's your last name from, Leisman?
My last name is from my former husband, and I think it was Polish Jewish.
All right, very good. And your major used to be?
My major, well, I'm a graduate of Queens College, and I was a Hebrew major.
Okay.
But my profession, which I just retired, and I'm a transportation engineer.
Got it. Okay, thank you, Leisman. You'll be in group 7, Leisman. I'm going to put you there. And
Okay.
Bella also. Bella, you're in group 7, just so you know. Bella. Okay, good. So Leisman, you can change your name to 7, Leisman. Okay, great. Osorio, are you here?
Yes. So I believe Osorio is Spanish, Portuguese, but it's a Colombian or popular. Well, maybe not that popular, but it's a Colombian last name.
Okay, very good.
And I'm a double major in philosophy and psychology.
Okay, very good. I skipped Montes. Montes, are you here?
Yeah, hello. So my last name has a French origin, I believe. But I'm Ecuadorian and Puerto Rican. So I think it's like a lot of South American last names come from. And my major is philosophy, and I'm minoring in business and liberal arts.
Okay, very good. It's good to have some business when you're doing philosophy. It's a good balance. Parillo, Parillo. Parillo, are you with us? Parillo, Parillo. No, okay. Perez.
Hello. I am a philosophy major, and the origins of my last name is a Jewish variation from which it's originally Peretz, which is kind of odd. I found that out like 2 months ago. Kind of weird.
Peretz. Yes, that's but Jewish from where? Peretz, Peretz, Peretz.
Peretz was the son of Judah, who was Jacob.
Thank you, Kogan. Okay, very good. Perez, you need to talk to Kogan at one point so you can get some more insights on your name. Very good. Robayo. Robayo, are you here?
Hi.
Yes.
So I'm a sociology major, and Robayo, I think, is an Ecuadorian last name.
I'm looking for you. Talk some more. I can't find you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, but I don't see you. Wave at me, like wave at me in the screen. Like make a lot of movement.
Because I don't have my camera on.
Ah, that's it. Okay. Ah, there you are. I see you now. Okay, Robayo. Will you get a camera, Robayo?
Yeah, I think by next class, I should have it working.
Okay, very good. So we were saying, Robayo, where is your name from?
I think it's Ecuadorian.
Okay. Your major?
Sociology.
Okay, excellent. Sosa.
Hi, you can hear me?
Yep, I see you.
My last name comes, it's Dominican, and I am a philosophy major.
Okay, very good. Saint-Just? However you say it.
Yes, yeah, you said it pretty accurately.
Okay, good.
My last name is Haitian. I was born here, and I'm a philosophy major.
Okay, excellent. Tak. Tak. Tak, tak, tak. Where is Tak? Tak, are you with us? No.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. Ah, there you are. Okay. Hello, Tak.
Hi, my name is Tak, and I'm Indian. I'm majoring in drama and theater, and minoring in philosophy.
Okay, so we have like either majors or minors. It's good. Tessia Miller, tell us about yourself.
Hi,
So Tessier is French and Miller by marriage and Tegan. And this is my second bachelor's in, well, I'm majoring in philosophy.
Okay, very good, very good. Why is she? Why is she? Ah, there you are.
Hello.
Hello.
So my name is actually pronounced as Oishi.
Oishi.
It's a Islamic name. Mainly, I've seen a lot of Bengalis usually use them. I'm Bengali.
Okay.
And my majors are psychology and philosophy.
Okay, very good. Windley. Windley. Where's Windley? No Windley. Okay, Wu. I think I saw you before, Wu. Are you there, Wu?
Yeah. I have a pretty common last name. I mean, it's Wu. It's pretty standard for a Chinese last name. My family's from northeastern China. I've never been, but I'm also a philosophy major.
Okay, very good. And Wu, are you going to get a camera finally?
Maybe if I decide to use my phone, yeah.
Okay, good. Zabala.
So my last name is pronounced Zabala, and it originates from it originates in Castilian Spanish as well as the Basque region of Spain, and but I'm half Bolivian, half Filipino, and my major is economics.
Okay, excellent. Bella, would you like to introduce yourself? Bella is an auditor.
Sure. My last name is Chinese, and I'm hoping to be a philosophy creative writing major.
Okay, very good. Okay, now we all know each other. That's nice. Excellent. All right, now I think time is finally up. We're good. So I will relax this weekend because it's not going to be. You're going to have a good challenge this semester, but don't worry, right? I don't want you to worry about the class. I'm going to help you. I'm going to be with you. Anytime you have questions, you can come to the office hours. So don't worry about, even though I told you it's going to be a little difficult, don't worry, because I'm going to really be there with you, right? I'm going to be there for you. I'm very hands-on. So you can relax, and anytime you need extra help, I can help you, right? Anytime, right? As much help you want, I can give you, right? So it's really up to you. If you have struggle writing, we can have sessions together. I can help you, just look at your paper. So don't worry at all. If you need extra help, you can always come to the office hours, which are every day at 6. Okay, we're good. All right, so I'll let you go. I will see you next week on Monday. Have a great rest of your day. And if anyone has extra questions, you can stay till the end of class. The rest of you can go.
Thank you.